Well, it's official. Adam Reynolds will be joining the Brisbane Broncos in 2022. He's there until 2024, so it's a 3-year contract. And what a signing for the Broncos. I've got to say, after all these years of just shit signing after shit signing, not even really any signings actually, now I think about it. It's not like they've actually had a marquee signing. Probably since like your Ben Barbers and Darius Boyds and stuff came to the club. They haven't really signed anyone apart from little no-namers. They've been losing a lot of players. Obviously the biggest one as of late has been David Fafita, but you add in all the other little guys who've gone to other clubs. Just maybe like not so much big names, but guys who left the club and then gone to other teams. You kind of like your Reece Walshes and stuff. They've also lost players like that. But Adam Reynolds coming to the Broncos, that is a huge signing. First off, on the field, fantastic. But secondly, just in terms of the Broncos, like Broncos just lost that aura. They were always the team that would poach the best players. Like, I remember at the Bulldogs, they took Ben Barber, they took like every single player. Just any player that they wanted, they got. James Robertson's another one. Any player that they set their sights on, they go, hey, come to the Broncos, we've got big bucks, and we've also got a big fan base around us. And the players be like, shit, the Broncos are after me, I'll go there. But they've just lost that the last couple of years. And then all of a sudden, Adam Reynolds signs, and I feel like they've just all of a sudden got that aura back. Maybe not quite all the way back, but it's kind of there to a degree. Now, first off, I'm just going to talk in this video about just the effects of the Broncos, obviously, with Adam Reynolds coming to the side, but I also want to touch on the Rabbitohs as well going forward, even the Sharks. Now, I'll just talk about the Sharks just briefly because they were the ones who, in my opinion, were in the pole position to sign him, and they've absolutely blown it. Now, the Rabbitohs, they come out and they're pretty clear that like they didn't really want to sign him. Like you can say that they offered contracts to him, they offered a 1-year contract, and they offered a 2-year contract with a year in the Rabbitohs' favour, so it was still essentially a 1-year contract. So I think the writing was on the wall pretty early on that Adam Reynolds wasn't going to be at the Rabbitohs in 2022. Although I always had in my head that it was always going to end up like just being resolved at some point. He was just going to end up at the Rabbitohs. They'd figure it out. And it's crazy to me that they haven't figured it out. A guy who wanted to stay at the club, a guy who's been there throughout his whole career, and they talk about loyalty in the game. Adam Reynolds was one of those guys who actually was loyal, and I don't think he's got any rewards from it. Obviously, he got a premiership early on in his career, but as the seasons have gone on, Rabbitohs looked at him and they've said, nah, he's not the one to take us forward, and I don't necessarily agree. But in terms of the Sharks, that's what I just wanted to talk about. What are they doing? Why the hell did they not sign Adam Reynolds? Broncos have gone out and they've got a hell of a deal. Apparently, $200,000 less than what the Sharks are offering, and he was ready to accept from the Sharks, but there was some sort of stuff up. I don't know exactly what it was about, but there was some sort of stuff up there, and he didn't end up at the Sharks. And I think this is going to be a big one for the Sharks because first off, they've just lost Chan Townsend. Sean Johnson's off contract, and it's not like they've got all these gun halves coming through in the juniors as well. So I don't know what the Sharks do going forward. It's almost like they kind of have to get Sean Johnson at the moment because I think going forward, there was kind of like, yeah, Adam Reynolds is going to be going there and we'll try and find a half partner for him. And all of a sudden, Sean Johnson's there, Matt Moylan even. Maybe they're going to go Johnson and Moylan, but they've just lost Chad Townsend. They've now missed out on Adam Reynolds, so I don't really know what they're going to do apart from re-sign Sean Johnson. And now Sean Johnson, the ball's in his court. He can sit there and be like, yeah, well, you know what? You're going to have to offer me the big bucks because I'll be off too. I'm sure he could go to the Super League. There's probably other teams who'd be willing to take Sean Johnson on a fairly decent contract. He's still a big talent in the NRL. Even with all the injuries, he's just one of those talents that I feel like you just keep getting big contracts just because you know the potential's still there. Even if he was like 31, you'd be like, yeah, Sean Johnson's still got potential. And speaking of guys in their 30s, Adam Reynolds, he is 30 at the moment and he will be going to the Broncos in 2022. And obviously, a huge signing. I've just talked about how much it means for the Sharks to not even get him. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Rabbitohs, how much it's going to mean for them not having Adam Reynolds at the club. Now, you look at all of Adam Reynolds' skills, all the attributes, everything he brings to the table, not only for the Rabbitohs, just for himself. Let's talk about his skills. So he's a great goal kicker, probably the best goal kicker in the comp apart from Nathan Cleary, you'd say, maybe Zach Lomax as well. But throughout the years, Adam Reynolds, for about the last 10 years, he's been the best goal kicker. And also a clutch goal kicker too. So he can do it under pressure as well. In terms of just general play, he's a great director, can direct the team around. He's experienced. He's got a great kicking game. His defense is fairly solid as well, and especially like for halfbacks. If you've got a solid halfback in defense, that's exactly what you want. Now, for the Rabbitohs, they're looking at, going forward, who do they bring in? I don't know. That Dean Hawkins guy, the only game I saw from him is when the Rabbitohs got pumped by 50. You also have Benji Marshall there. Do they re-sign him? He's going to be another year older, and he has looked really good in terms of coming on and off the bench. But it's just the same thing with the Rabbitohs. When things are going good, they're going really good. But when their back's against the wall, they don't really have anyone who can stand up apart from Adam Reynolds. He's the guy who can direct you around. He can just put in that little kick, can just get the pressure on there and also get you out of trouble. I don't think Cody Walker's going to be able to do that. I don't think Benji Marshall's going to be able to do that. And I don't think if a Hawkins comes into the side, I don't think he's going to be able to do that either, at least not immediately. And that's where I feel like the Rabbitohs, I feel like they're in that premiership window. And I did a video at the start of the season saying with all these guys, they're starting to age. Cody Walker's getting older, Benji's obviously quite old, and Adam Reynolds, I mean, he's leaving now. So the premiership window is slamming shut on the Rabbitohs in my opinion, and they need to win this year, but like going forward, they also can't afford to not win in the next couple of years as well. So Damien Cook is another one who's aging, but like Cody Walker, they're putting all the eggs in the basket of Cody Walker and Damien Cook, Latrell Mitchell. Now Latrell Mitchell, he's going to be there long term. We know he's going to be there long term. He's still very, very young. He's still growing as a player, as good as what he is at the moment, but he's still growing as a player, and he's still going to get better and better. But in terms of the other two, they can't afford to be sitting around for the next couple of years not winning a premiership. It almost feels like this year has got to be the year they win a premiership. Adam Reynolds is going to go out a champion. That's how it's got to be in the Rabbitohs' eyes. And even in terms of Wayne Bennett, it doesn't look like he's going to be re-signing next year as well. I'm pretty sure it's next year he's not going to be there. So either it's next year or the year after. So Wayne Bennett's time at the Rabbitohs is coming to an end as well. So it's almost like a rebuilding stage, but the Rabbitohs can't really afford to have a rebuilding stage. And letting go on Adam Reynolds, they've said it's a salary cap issue, and obviously it is a salary cap issue, but my problem with it is the fact that they chose Cody Walker over him, because that's kind of how it appears to me. Whether Cody Walker was just asking for less than Adam Reynolds and it was just a better deal for them, I don't know. That's all behind the scenes stuff. But in terms of what they bring to the side, Cody Walker, obviously a fantastic player when things are going good, but that's like I was just saying. When things are going good, he's one of those players who plays 10 out of 10. But when things aren't going that good and they're taking on those tough sides, Adam Reynolds is the one who can get him out of trouble. And I think that's why he's going to be such a good signing for the Broncos, because that's what they've lacked the last couple of years. They've got those big forwards. They've got your Payne Haas's, your Pangai Juniors. They've got guys who can lay the platform for them. They just don't have anyone who can sort of create the end product for them. Milford, Croft, bloody even Ben Hunt, all those guys. They've tried a lot of plays in the Haas over the years, and some of them have been good at times. Obviously, the last couple of years have been absolutely dreadful for Milford and Brody Croft in particular. Even guys like Nikorima, Dearden's leaving. They've tried, like I said, a lot of halfbacks have come and gone through the Broncos ranks, but none have been like Adam Reynolds. None have won a premiership. None have even done anything of significance in terms of winning things. You look at your Ben Hunts, look at Anthony Milford's. They got to the grand final all those years, but what have they done since then? Now, Adam Reynolds, he's been getting his side to prelim after prelim. He's played Origin, obviously won the premiership in 2014, but he's just super experienced and he keeps getting the job done at the Rabbitohs. Obviously hasn't got the grand final wins, but in terms of being able to turn a Broncos side around, I think Adam Reynolds is the perfect signing, and I'm surprised more teams weren't after him. I'm looking at teams like the Bulldogs, the Tigers. How have they not thrown contracts at him? I know Bulldogs have got Matt Burton coming across, and obviously they've put a lot of the eggs in the baskets of Kyle Flanagan, and obviously hasn't really worked out so far. But at the same time, Adam Reynolds is on the market. He's just one of those players you should be going for. And unless you're a team like Penrith or the Storm, you've got to go for Adam Reynolds. You at least got to test the waters, anyways. But just on Adam Reynolds' time at the Rabbitohs, a fantastic career with the Rabbitohs. I think he'll always be remembered as a Rabbitohs player. I don't think this is going to be an instance of, say like Cooper Cronk spent all of his time with the Storm, won premiership after premiership, all the accolades at the Storm, and then goes to the Roosters and wins a couple of premierships. And now people sort of remember him. I'm not going to say they remember him more as a Rooster than a Melbourne Storm player, but it's definitely like a 50-50. It's always like when they have success at the end of the career, you kind of remember who they last played for. Michael Lennis is a good example for it. He only played like 2 seasons with the Sharks, and he ended up winning a premiership. And obviously, people remember him as a Sharks player, despite him being the Bulldogs captain for a long time. So, I guess there is a possibility Adam Reynolds maybe becomes a bit of a Broncos legend. Who knows? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be there long enough. After all, it is only a 3-year contract. And I can't see them winning a premiership in this time, but it just gives them that little bit of aura again, especially after losing so many players. It seems like all of their good youngsters, they would just go to other teams. David Feeder is the biggest example of this one. And I think they were sort of becoming a bit of a laughingstock, especially after winning the Wooden Spoon last year. Not looking great this year. It was like, oh, who are they going to keep? Dearden's left. Like Milford's probably going to be leaving too. I don't know what you do for the Broncos, and then all of a sudden Adam Reynolds comes and you've hit the jackpot with that, because I think you bring him in and then all of a sudden other players around him, they go, oh, well, I wouldn't mind playing for Adam Reynolds, or you got other halves go, oh, Adam Reynolds, he's pretty good, I can go play with him, and then just the ball starts rolling from there. So overall, just to wrap things up, I think this is a fantastic signing for the Broncos. I think it's going to be a big signing in terms of them going forward and just rising from the bottom. This is the exact signing that they needed. They really needed an Adam Reynolds. Not only is is he a big name player, but also he's an important player in terms of him being a halfback, and that's exactly what they needed, exactly what they've lacked, and they've gone out and they signed him, and they haven't signed him for overs as well, which I think is a big thing too, especially with all the halfbacks on the market. I think he signed a similar contract to Townsend as well, if not for less. So I think that says a lot in terms of the Adam Reynolds signing, and also kind of the disrespect Adam Reynolds was shown by the Rabbitohs. Just the fact that they've gone out and said, you know, you can leave. Like, we'll happily sign Cody Walker and sign all the other guys. You've been very loyal to us. You won a premiership for us. You really turned our fortunes around, but you're not good for us next year. I sort of doesn't sit well with me how that's happened, and I don't think it sat well with a lot of Rabbitohs fans, and the fact that he was so adamant in saying like he wanted to stay at the Rabbitohs, I think that's what will hurt the Rabbitohs fans as well. But look, Adam Reynolds has come out, he's put up a post on Instagram saying South Sydney till I die. Well, you're going to the Broncos next year, so not necessarily the case, but obviously he'll always be remembered as a Rabbitohs legend, a guy who won them the first premiership in how many years? I don't know, in a long time. So he will definitely go down as a legend for the Rabbitohs. But in terms of moving forward for Adam Reynolds, I think this is the best signing for him. Obviously, he said he didn't want to leave Sydney, but just things happened. He signed a big contract, probably his last contract in terms of being a professional football player. And maybe they'll sort out something for him post-football. I don't know. It seems to be a big thing these days when they sign these older players. They know they're probably not going to make it into their third or fourth year, so they sort of set them up after football. But I can also see the Rabbitohs bringing him on, so wherever he goes, I think he'll have a place, whether it's at the Rabbitohs, whether it's at the Broncos, even in Fox Sports. Everybody ends up on Fox Sports. But yeah, for the Sharks, it's not a good look for them in the sense that they missed out on him. It's also not a good look for the Rabbitohs going forward, just because who the hell's going to be the halfback? But the Broncos, definitely they've hit the jackpot here. Anyways, that's my thought on the Adam Reynolds situation. Leave in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Adam Reynolds? Do you think it's a good signing? Do you think it's a bad miss by the Sharks? Do you think the Rabbitohs should have let him go? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, while you're at it, if you did happen to enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, turn on the notification bell. It's pretty important in terms of you actually seeing the videos, because you know sub boxes, they're a little bit dodgy, don't necessarily show up all the time. So go ahead, use the notification bell. You'll be notified immediately. You can go in and leave a comment saying first or whatever you want to do. So go ahead and do that. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke on YT for everything except for Facebook. So Facebook is just Mr. Luke, but everything else is Mr. Luke on YT, as you can see on the screen right now. But that's how I'm going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Magic Round is this weekend, so there's plenty of stuff to talk about, plenty of stuff going on, so let's just enjoy the footy. Stay tuned for more content on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. See yous!